law, freedom. As a person who came from communistic country, I value that you can choose. So I'm not going to be enforcing that. We'll see. Okay, well, I did. But tell you what, if people are coming late, they're coming late, right?
Okay with all of us?
Yes, I think we are keeping far away and we are all talking. So thank you so much for coming. I'm 125 Life Executive Director. My name is Sylvia, and Alex organized this entire meeting. And I just want to say thanks to him and thank you so much for coming, because I've been really trying, lobbying so hard for this construction. And I think finally the pushback dealt on Pillsbury construction. But at the same time, it feels like if we're not gonna help each other out, nobody else will help us. We're not somehow gather. I actually called Lucy up, said that she might come in for next one. I know she was strong voice. So I think we need to figure it out. What are the ways? How can? And then thank you so much, Mary, for coming. She's representing neighborhood association. So I really want to. And then Randy Peterson, he couldn't be here as the guy from Post Bulletin. We had this discussion that I'm going to let him know on Monday what we discussed, and he's going to write the editorial note and see how can they voice, how can they make sure that people heard what they can do to help us. But anyway, Alex, the floor is yours.
Okay. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I just want to make sure really quick that those online can hear. If you want to give a shout real quick.
Hi, this is Beth at ONB Bank. Can you hear me?
Yep. Sounds good.
Perfect.
So we'll just do quick introductions. My goal is to not really speak very much. It's more of us collectively bringing forth ideas and discussing how we can work together type of thing. So first, I'm Alex Forrest. I'm the Membership Services Manager here at 125 Live. And I'm why you're here. So
my name is Mary Eidso, and I am part of the Lower Town Neighborhood Association. And so the entire North Broadway project falls within our neighborhood from north to south. So just here to not, of course, as a business owner, but just to see how the neighborhood can participate to promote and support the businesses during this kind of challenging time.
And I know everyone, so let's go to Dan.
I'm Dan Zimmer, and I'm with Shop. And then we also own a building right in the middle of Broadway Construction right now. It's Broadway schools in front of it. It's 1117 North Broadway. It has a Broadway on the map. Mensky, Big Tackle, and West.
Carol Cody, I'm with 125 Live.
Dennis Wong, Lester Cap, also co-owner of Dunn Brothers Coffee.
Welcome, everyone.
and thank you, Beth, for chiming in. We know you're there. Anyone else online? They might be muted, but anyway, I'm just going to share a few slides really quick. It's probably stuff that most of you already know, but just to kind of recap why we're here. And if you're not currently aware of the Reconstruct Broadway website, that's the website that they're pointing all of us to stay up to date on timeline, latest news, maps, all that good stuff. And I'll bring that up here in just a minute. But the first thing is with regard to the timeline. Obviously, we're past the April 19th to May 10th timeline. So now we know that Broadway is closed both directions, both lanes. And then, so that would have started May 10th. And then, pretty much going from there, both lanes of traffic, sidewalk and recreational trails. The routes for RPT are varied quite a bit. And pedestrian access will be maintained according to them throughout the entirety of the project. Just to kind of give a brief overview on what they do have as far as resources go on the website. The first one is just a very basic overview of the construction area, obviously the different routes of access. This one I literally just saw maybe within the last couple of days. They sent out an update. I want to say it was either today or yesterday. But at least this one is a little more in depth in terms of obviously the main construction area. And then it does at least call out the different businesses and where they're located, and then the not main routes behind the locations that are affected. So I found that one to be a little bit more beneficial. And then kind of more of the same, just going further down, further north, I should say. And then, you know, the rest of the different businesses. And this would be more south towards Civic Center Drive. So at least they have that going on. This is the actual website here. It's Reconstruct Broadway. I think it's put on by the construction company. And anyway, so you have the summary. There are, which I did sign up for, I didn't know until I just found out. The first and third Wednesday of the month, it sounds like they're having meetings that you can join. So I guess I'd encourage you to sign up for those if you want. And then obviously the construction with the maps and different things, so you can see all that, timelines, and then latest news or updates. So that's what we're looking at. But the thing that Ken, our facilities director, wanted me to sort of point out, and we have experience with, because one of our members, Joan McCoy, she owns Tangerine, and with how things were affected with the downtown construction last year. So these are just two examples of articles of how, you know, the access to the different locations was quite limited, and it ended up in that a couple businesses even closed. The Loop was one of them. And then what was the other one?
I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you Joel, the friend. So one day she arrived in her shop. There was literally no entry to her shop. Nobody told her. There was basically no sidewalk, so it couldn't get in her own shop. So again, this is something that we're trying to also avoid. And saying, you know, how, because obviously this mess last year, on top of the COVID, on top of everything else. But yes, the businesses went bankrupt. But how do we prevent it? I think, again, this is about gathering. Let's be one voice. This cannot happen here. I think we've been doing a good job being vocal. And I think we can do better. I think, you know, there's few of us, but again, I would like maybe to work to have the whole group of these businesses, because again, whenever I spoke with Vista owners, they were very interested. There's orthodontist, Gerard Gray, they are very interested. So the more of us is here, the better. So I think, you know, as bad as it sounds, I think they will not try to mess out with so much with us if we're gonna sit here. And that's the whole purpose.
And I did do a lot of phone calling today, and you know, obviously it's not ideal because it kind of seemed like it snuck up on us in terms of both lanes of Broadway being closed. But with those that weren't able to make it tonight, this will be recorded so we can at least share with them, and I have their contact information so we can all, you know, still chime in. So the next part that we've discussed here at 125 would be, what are some of those ways that we might prevent those catastrophic things from happening? So one of the things we talked about was, I guess, kind of more like a coupon book type of thing. And how do we leverage the customers that you have, and also the 3,300 members that we have? How do we get the word out to those people? So number one, could we provide incentive for them to visit those places of business? have something, each business can determine what kind of, special or deal or coupon they want to include in this book. People here can see it, people at your businesses can see it, and maybe that'll provide more incentive for them to visit and then, build that relationship and continue shopping or doing business there. So that was one of them. Maybe it's a matter of every couple weeks or, what the timeline is, doing some kind of special event at each one of these locations that we're all part of, and, really promoting the businesses that are close within that current block or couple blocks there, and kind of keep doing that throughout the process of the construction. Obviously, social media is really big. So how can we leverage that? Do we do some kind of
Takeover of businesses?
do we do spotlight each, one business a week and just blast that out as much as we can between all the different people that are here at the table and those that aren't able to be here tonight? And then utilizing our local news outlets. I know that, and maybe Sylvia, you can speak to this with the relationships that we have with some of
I
those.
think we do have a decent relationship, particularly because of 2020. There was nothing really happening in Rochester, so they were really like coming to 125 Live and saying, "What's happening, guys?" So they had some materials. So I think we've met a lot of them, and I think we can definitely utilize them. Those guys that I know, they really want to help. Like I spoke with Megan Zempool, she really wants to help. Randy Peterson, Post Bulletin, those guys are really looking for opportunities. What can they do to help us? Obviously, gives them a story, but also at the same time, if they're going to keep reminding people we are open, we're functioning, come in, I think that's important.
And then lastly, obviously, we've probably all had conversations on our own with whether it be city leadership or, those involved on the construction side of things. But how do we collectively, as one voice, like Sylvia was saying, engage those people and let them know what it is we're looking for and how to accomplish that. So those are just some of the things we thought about. Obviously, we want all of your feedback and thoughts. So the rest of the time, I really just have reserved for general discussion and brainstorming. So I don't know if anyone has initial reactions or thoughts or feelings at all.
I just have to add one more thing. Yes, we have 3,300 members, but there's still events and other things happening just through 125 Live. Pre-COVID, obviously, I have to add there was about 210,000 people coming to our door. That's what we have recorded visitors for rentals, for different events, for as a guest, as a client of Sandy and her salon, et cetera. So we have a lot of individuals. Rec centers are our partner. There's a lot of parents with the kids. I'm sure there's opportunities if we come out with this coupon book. The rec center is not worried. They're the destination, and again, Shannon is there. Whenever I spoke with them, they know people will get there for hockey. They know that people will go there for swim lessons because, where else are they going to go? So the problem is Bay Shop. Those are the problems. There's Dumb Brothers. Yes, we're going to skip this Dumb Brothers. We're going to go to, what I mean? That's the problematic part. How do we keep them engaged with our businesses here? So I think coming out with ideas that we can give away. Coupon code, that was one of those things. Keeping engaging media. And again, if we're going to keep sending press releases, sending media businesses, I think that's what keeps us afloat throughout this thing. And again, 5 months until the bridge comes out seems like a long time. Is it really? I'm glad it was pushed back. So that's, and I'm just gonna.
Do you know how long the bridge will be open?
5 to 6 months, depending on the weather. October now. So October, November, December, January, February. And then remember about schools, because there's 4 schools. So all those parents and all those kids will have to somehow find a way, which that's another concern we have, that Broadway will start cutting down, whenever the Broadway cuts down all this traffic right here, trying to avoid currently constructions, because we see people speeding, etc. That's obviously that's gonna be shut down too, there'll be no bridge. So therefore, the access to this side also gonna be affected. So if you have any ideas, please let us know. Like I said, I definitely wanted Lucy here, Lucy Bishop. And like I said, she's gonna come in. It would be great to come out with some sort of, like you have neighborhood association. If we can come out with something and speak and try to speak as a one voice, of course, everyone always has their own opinion, but just trying to represent the group of business owners one would be great.
So I know since 2015, the Chamber of Commerce was really active in coordinating a lot of the business discussion on the project. And it's kind of gone cool. I don't know if that's gonna start, I've made a couple of phone calls, but I haven't had time to really look at them, but is that?
And actually, I'm on the board of the chamber, so that's
Okay.
makes it a little bit,
Okay.
I will try my best to push that, okay?
But I
And
mean,
I do.
that obviously is a resource.
Yeah,
that this
absolutely.
group should have.
And I think, once they know that we are meeting, and we're gonna sort of, Alex and I and Cheryl are gonna do the legwork, and I think we start doing legwork, and I rely on you, if you have friends, if you have business owners, bring them in. Once we're gonna start meeting on regular basis, I think the chamber are gonna join, we're gonna sort of force their hand. They'll have to. As bad as it sounds.
But yeah, I mean, I like the idea of some type of coupon book or something that can highlight different businesses as well as celebration, and I was talking to the garden 2 weeks ago, and I was asking them when are they gonna put their buffet back in? And they said, oh, not until after Broadway's done, because it didn't make sense for them to do that.
Wow.
So once Broadway's done, I was like, we need to have a big thing. So I know at least one business is thinking about that. And if maybe that's too far down the line, are they still gonna be there? Is the door still gonna be open after the Broadway's done? I don't know, I'm worried about that question.
Are they just open at night?
Well, they're open
Yeah,
for
no.
pickup,
Only for pickup.
Oh,
and they're not really known as a
take out.
restaurant, where Silver Lake Center, we have Great Wall and Burger King have done really well with pickup, but Grandma's Kitchen did,
Because that's not, I would never
so
think about it.
nobody went to Grandma's Kitchen to get an outlet and take it home, So now that things are open more with Grandma's, I think we were able to give them some outside dining, and outside dining came back during last summer, that helped them, but that they're still standing is great. But, and this COVID, not about any road closure.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't there a Silver Lake Foods big event in the parking lot that Pepsi put on or something? I remember they do something like this with the radio stations there. Can we do something like that?
The businesses get together for like a sidewalk sale, we can do that. And
Something like
sometimes-
that in this timeframe? Problem with the radio station there, have PJ and Pepsi or whoever the.
I know
There's
they had
one
a
of
game,
the-
they had a game thing come one day. Something like that,
One of the radio stations must, I suppose they hire out for it or something, but when Broadway Dental Care kind of took over new ownership or something, then the radio station was there and they had raffle drawings and they were just parked there on the street. And then does Flapdoodles have an ice cream truck?
They do.
And that was there too. It was really fun. It was just
And
like,
that's what we're
so-
gonna be doing in
yeah.
the summer.
And 97.5 is a more successful than the past.
Maybe that's who it was that did this. I just don't recall it. That's but it was a really cool thing. And along with the idea of special events, I was like, we should be celebrating kind of each section of this that gets done. Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
13th opens up, we should have keep it closed for one night before they actually open it to traffic and have people just down there, just like they do on Thursdays downtown, or, I don't know. I don't know. if this is-
11:13.
But wouldn't it be great just to have people, down there walking around and the businesses that are in that area possibly could be open at some different hours that they aren't normally, or, however, I don't know. I'm just kind of.
Oh, and those are great ideas. But we need to also ask the local news station for like a PTA announcement, so like a public service announcement. And to say, easy to get there. This is the road, because a lot of people they imagine like, oh, it's shut down. I don't know how to get there. I think, they have to figure out the way to like say, okay, it's a 2 minutes detour, you just go up and down. But I think they have to, maybe they can help us. And if we can work with this, whatever they call it, Bolt and something, the company. makes Bolt and Meg. If we can like work with them and saying, is there any chance that, either you can sponsor or help offset those costs? I think they should be open for it.
And I will say that I did call their access coordinator, and Corey, he responded right away, and he was like, oh, okay, our signage. He had wrong company. Well, which was, so, he talked to him about some changes and talked to him about, and I was really confused because if you're coming from south of Broadway, it just said North Broadway businesses go this way.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, the laundromat is a North Broadway business. And why would I be going this way when I should go this way? And so now there's a sign that says west businesses, east businesses. And that happened in the day. So, he's responsible. It's just finding the right people to talk to. Really what to ask.
It's probably good to know who he is, so we need to know.
And he's on that website as
Yeah, I think that website is really helpful information with who the contact people are. And I think those meetings that they're doing, I've attended a couple of those Wednesday meetings where they're updating people and you can ask questions and things like that. So it's been beneficial. I think.
Absolutely. I think booklet can all agree on, right? And again, I think I spoke with Lynn one time, about, I don't know, maybe this has to be spend $30, I don't know, get 5 off or whatever, just to try to generate the traffic. And again, this is up to you. How do we get this baked in? How about whenever we have a special event with Monty Five Live, those outdoor concerts, as we're going to have them in the summer? How do we invite neighborhood associations? How do we invite your businesses? Or maybe not if the businesses kind of come in, because then we send them. Since you guys are across the street.
Right.
How about we give those coupon codes to them
But
as
how
a
do
flyer?
we help our, the laundromat customers know about your other things too? Because quite frankly, our laundromat customers come from everywhere in Rochester.
Mhm.
They're, so, yeah, how best to share all that information together.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, we just have to figure it out. It's again, it's in a lot of respects, it's worse than COVID because we have to pivot again. How many times can we pivot until we break a leg? So, like I said,
Well, it's not as bad as COVID because people are out there and they're doing stuff. It's just helping them choose stuff with us. Right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Do you have customer lists that you can contact people and then you can email them through the list and like really get in their inbox and tell them what's going on? Is there such a thing by each business that can do that?
Maybe social
I
media.
think it depends on the business.
I would encourage them to do that anyway, if they
As
have a
an
list.
alternative to that, we try not to be too intrusive.
Of course.
Yeah.
We get people that come in, so we would, on our own websites, post, we're open in directions, but it would be helpful, I think, if we did come up with a neighborhood organization with a common message, and we put that common message on everybody's website, so you get repetition, they'd see it and get directions, and we'd be willing to put that on our websites for social media tie-ins if we came up with an organization name for the neighborhood.
Oh, absolutely. And actually give me an idea, because we can definitely talk with the marketing people from TV station, and let's say that you are interested, your business, we are interested, we can send them and say, hey, don't forget about Dan Brothers and Blue Plate, bait shop, laundromat, we are here, we need your support. It doesn't have to be, horrible message, but it can be, don't forget about us. And I think people are feeling quite patriotic now about those constructions. This is my vibe from social media, that they want to help. Like last year, I was all downtown, even though everybody, I was like, no, I have to go and support downtown businesses. So I would like to think we can move it farther this way, this feeling that it has to, and the fact that Mary's here as a representative of the neighborhood association shows me that we can make it happen.
Shannon said she could also post things on their website, Rec Center, and also add things to outdoor signs.
Perfect.
I would absolutely be
I'm-
happy
Social
to
media
do
Yeah, I
that.
mean, we have a scrolling sign we can add stuff on. We can put pretty much anything on that. And to me, it's more about also the other businesses that are around, getting them involved too, and that,
Of course.
I'm really surprised. And I knew we were talking about the bridge, but I knew how it was when this whole meeting started, it was the bridge and Broadway, and now
Yep.
it's just kind of, the bridge is pushed back a little bit, but I think the message that we need to have is that the businesses on Broadway need support, and then you guys are gonna need support from that bridge, and if we're all working together
Mhm.
from the start, how better it will be.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm surprised we don't have more representatives here.
I agree.
I
agree. I
agree
think
with you. I'm
that
surprised
it's
too,
very
because like I said,
important.
I feel like because this bridge was pushed back, people just were like, it's such a relief that they feel it's going to be fine. But I think we are for really these few months of we're really challenging few months.
So this is the first week that Broadway, these 3 blocks were shut down. And talking with the bait store, talking with Indian Garden, and with the rifle and the laundromat, we're all, it's like we're back at where everybody's full. McDonald's is now redoing the whole thing. I think they just said, we're just gonna close our doors and
Smart.
redo our.
If they can
so
afford
they're
it.
redoing the whole building.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, there's.
I haven't talked to the bridal shop. There's a new bridal shop on the corner.
I can't believe it.
And-
The
and
gingerbread house.
That used to be a gingerbread house. I don't know what,
It is huge,
they
but
must have
holy
known
cow.
this is coming, but. How's
Yeah,
that gonna
'cause
impact
I
us?
think some didn't know it was coming. There were people surprised weeks ago, months ago that it was coming.
I'm on the same,
I don't
live in the same block down the same, where the long man, because we were playing, and so we walked down to look at
On the
the
design and
today,
everything. But
and
that's
my
the
granddaughter,
way it is.
we should sell tickets for watching all the big equipment.
I tell you what, that might be not a bad idea.
That's probably a good idea, because the school on Saturday, they're gonna have a transportation fair with big diggers and
Yep.
that sort of thing, so.
They
it
could just
fits-
walk down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had my 3-year-old granddaughter there in the stroller, and she kept commenting about that, she could hear kind of in the back, from our house even kind of, and her dad works concrete, so she's like, is Papa out here? And I said, no, we'll go see. So I wanted to show her what it was, so she would understand what the noise was. I could hardly get her away from it. I mean, it's a big,
I know, kids
lots of big equipment that they get a kick out of, but.
No, I totally understand, but yeah, we can sell the tickets, but, and then the tickets can support all of us. I'm concerned about 1 to 5 Live, but I'm not really. I think I'm the same sort of in a lot of respects. We are destination. And if there are people that are members, winking at tennis, they're gonna find a way. But at the same time, we know already, the survey we sent out to members, some of them, they said, we will not be back because of construction. And what I heard today, that's why I was telling you, from members that they posted the detour sign that small, which I really asked them to make it huge, because our members, something tiny that's not for their eyes, they have to, it has to be bright, big, and says exactly where they're supposed to go. So I don't know, it's gonna be interesting.
You mentioned that like India Garden and like grandmas are, do you get the
Well, I'm
sense that
just talking
they're,
about people under my block,
Do you-
because those are the ones that I've kind of talked,
okay,
but
Do you get the sense that they're, because I know, what is it, May 28th, like the indoor seating and guidelines kind of lessen? Do you get the sense that they're waiting for that to really bring people back in, or?
No, I mean, Indian Garden basically said they're not gonna put their buffet have indoor until Broadway's done.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they didn't see it, they don't see that being, they just don't see that the traffic's gonna come back.
What
know,
about you
and-
guys?
Yeah.
Did you see any like effect on your traffic in
Our
that?
traffic has improved dramatically the last 2 months with the vaccine. Vaccine made a big difference. So it's going the right direction. So
Did you notice
Yeah.
any reduction in business this week with all of Broadway being closed?
it's hard to say, not really.
Okay.
No. I mean, before I forget, I want to thank you for coordinating that bridge. If they had done both, it would have been disastrous. So thank you for-
See, if it's the first time ever somebody takes me for my big mouth.
No, that's common. What you did was common sense, but someone, we would have lost almost complete access, public access. Anyway, if I may, I have a kind of a practical question. A lot of these businesses, they're just up to their ears in day-to-day operations, and these are great ideas. Do you have any person, staff that will coordinate this? Because all of these are wonderful things to do, but I know it takes time and effort to get them actually done. So,
Yeah, so
Mhm.
Cheryl and Alex are both like their jobs, Cheryl's title is actually community engagement. That's what it is. And yours is too, I believe. I don't know. I think it was like you overlap at some stage. We all wear so many hats, you guys should know it. It's like if it needs to be toilet clean, we clean the toilets. That's how it is in here. But yes, so the goal is I would like to help, and we have resources. We have a staff who helps Cheryl, and she's good at the graphics, so we can create those coupon books. We just need to know what. It literally, if you're gonna tell me saying, okay, $5 off breakfast or like bait shop,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know I know that when he's open, he was doing like buy a dozen, get another dozen.
And then
free,
again,
something,
yeah, as
whatever.
long as we have an email that says, and then
Yep.
if people have logo, because we would like to make it looks like legit, so we would need your logo, for example. And we can easily make it happen. Easy to like print it, and we are happy to get the cost of that, of printing of that. I think it feels like a right thing to do, and again, I'm gonna try my best to bring the chamber on board. Okay. I think everything now is sort of in this hybrid mode, which is like people don't really meet in person, meet on Zoom, and nothing can really be accomplished. That's my feeling. But as the world moves forward and the masks are being lifted and governor allows us to reopen, makes me think we're gonna have more and more in person and more things gonna happen. But yes, that's a practical, it's a great question.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Well, and
absolutely.
we've got some big events coming up, so
Yes.
I'm thinking somehow that if the coupon books are ready, they can be passed out at at the art festival. and
Absolutely,
Some of these bigger events that are coming up, we've got stuff going on.
absolutely. And we can provide the chairs and tables if somebody wants to advertise their business by themselves, or we can do it because we're gonna have like a welcoming table. And an ideal word would spread the word in the neighborhood, saying, says, come on in.
Yeah, because I have distribution lists for folks in the neighborhood, and it's hard to get the word out or encourage new folks to come. I also have a list of businesses which 3 years ago, when we kind of reinvented our neighborhood and changed our name to Lower Town, I walked the pavement, went into every single business in Lower Town and had this list. And of course now some of that is outdated, but I have a lot of it. And I did reach out to all the businesses and kind of doing the same sort of thing, but I didn't get much response. So to Dennis's point, I think that business owners and the folks that are trying to, keep their businesses afloat, it's hard for them to take on another path. So I had kind of the same idea about doing a social media blast, and I thought every day when I get up, I should just go on social media and you know, give a shout out to this business and the next day another business and the next day another business. But I just don't know if I've got the time or the wherewithal or the information to be fair to every single business. But I thought that was a great idea. So I was hoping that someone else would jump on board and work on it.
But
so
we
far.
all can't. So,
Yeah,
if we,
yeah.
let's say, agree that on Monday, and this is just example, we're going with the Dunn brothers. We all gonna gather together and things as well, or grandma's kitchen or whatever we choose, we can have a list. And all of us gonna do it. The Monday is the grandma's kitchen day. I think, it has to generate some sort of interest. And plus the goal is to keep reminding people that those businesses are operational, that nobody shut down. Because, a lot of times, like McDonald's is a perfect example. They just shut down, they don't care. Kismet, I believe, is gonna be another one. I believe Penny, that's her name, right?
Yep,
If I
that's
remember
Penny.
correctly. I think she's just gonna shut it down. That's what at least Joan McCush is.
But she,
Well, but she's been
threatened.
challenged before by construction and challenges there. It's been hard to keep those doors open.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the goal, how do we let them, remind them? And again, they might have this idea that a lot of us just throw the towel in and like, oh, okay. But we will have outdoor events. That's another sort of thing. Well, A, at 1 to 5 Live, but B, we sort of venture out. We have a table at the farmers market, which we can have those coupons again. We're going to be doing Cascade Lake Park workouts. So, they're going to be so much exposure that once we have this ready, it's going to take some time and some efforts, but once we're going to have it ready, I think it's going to be easy to give away.
And so let me ask this question, because we have a general list, and I think it was something that Ken helped us put together. He's our facilities director. When, early on in the construction phase, and, granted, there's been changes and new things pop up. So it's definitely missing some businesses and organizations. So we can definitely, try to capture everybody. But my question would be, obviously, we're having this discussion here. If we're all on board, as a business owner, if you get a call from some random person, me, and saying, hey, we had this meeting and we're all interested in doing this, would you want to put a coupon in our book or be part of this event? What's your response to that? Are you kind of leery, or like, would you be open to it? Everyone's different, but.
I think I get those quite a bit, and usually they start out by saying how much I have to pay.
And then again, the answer
Yeah,
is,
but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so they need to know if it is truly gonna be no cost to them, other than what are they going to, if
Tell us
they're,
what your deal is.
what the deal is, and there's a cost to that, but.
we do not want to make.
But
money.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
of course.
that's gonna be, they're gonna listen to you more. But it's gonna be challenging to do that cold call, so I think the other part is to utilize the other business owners as well.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Who know each other, because you're gonna get far more traction.
Yes,
I
If
think,
Alex calls his friends, then
I think we could offer either our own time to, make a few calls and our staff to make a few. I think that would be more mean. It's not cold call, because we work in the neighborhood too. We live in the neighborhood. So that, if that's worth anything,
And that's part of why, like, on the agenda here, I included my email. I'm on the bottom there. So that way, if you are having these conversations, you can provide that to them. Yeah, no, they're over here on the table, but, and provide that to them. And, that's a way to communicate. And then I can keep expanding upon that list of who's all on board or.
but yeah, if you are willing to put together this booklet, it is well worth my time to help recruit other businesses so that we have a booklet, so it's not just that others and me, So,
Of
so
course.
we wanna,
And
I
1 to
don't
5
know-
Live.
I don't know enough of the businesses further south on Broadway, but the ones that are close enough to us in Silver Lake Center, I'm sure that they'll all get on board this.
Like I said, this is not ever meant to be about making money for me. This is like truly, because I feel like I need to do something. And I think, talking with Cheryl and Alex, we felt like we need to like somehow unite people and bring them together. And that's the whole idea. And again, if 1 to 5 Live have to swallow some cost, you know what, so be it. I do believe in karma. And I think, there's like good things, you do good things coming back your way. So like I said, I wouldn't worry about that. That's not massive cost for us.
And then, as things kind of develop from there, as we kind of expand upon our list of folks that are interested in and such, I don't know, is it worth doing some kind of a regular meeting, whether it be monthly, every other month or whatever, to continue to develop these things or learn what didn't work and what might work going forward? Or is that just too much time and investment on your guys' part, do you think?
Well,
Hey,
I would love to
Alex.
meet. It's up to me. I think meeting like once a month and bringing more people on board. And then plus, it's going to sound selfish, but it really isn't. 1 to 5 Live, we're going to have all those events. Some of those businesses can attach to them. Normally in the normal times, we usually like charge people, like if you want to be our sponsor or our, present something, we charge people. But again, this is not normal circumstances. So, we can, if we give people an option saying, okay, on June 4th, we have an pop-up art festival. On, I don't know, May 21st, we have a Greece. I don't know, again, maybe bait shop is not a great fit for Greece, but we actually, the lady with the food truck's gonna come in. So, what are the things we can do together? And again, if there is a swim meet, can we send people to Dunn Brothers? That's, it feels like some of the things are no-brainers.
There will be some of those.
Of
throughout
course.
the summer, so yeah.
Are the meetings with the Broadway Avenue reconstruction, is that just a Zoom meeting Monday one?
Yeah, it's an online thing. It's on, there's a link on that website.
9 a.m.
Yeah,
and it's on that website. There's just a link to get it. It's pretty simple.
I'm just trying to think if we do meet again, we have things that we want to convey to that meeting at post our meeting. That would be a good thing, but,
Timing-wise.
yeah, it's Reconstruct Broadway. If you just search for that, it'll bring you right to the website. And then it's on it's the Get Involved tab. That's where that meeting link is.
And there is a.
Hey, Alex, are you able to hear me?
Put on their notification list, so then you would get a reminder that the meeting is coming up, but anything else. So that's probably a good way to touch a lot of business owners, and then there's quite a few that.
There's got to be a way to get on that agenda that we could say, hey, we want to share
Sure.
this.
Yeah.
I don't know who puts that agenda together, because there's Elcor. I'll look into that.
Alex,
Dylan
are you able to?
Kozlowski, so that's my contact from the city. He's been
Dylan's
extremely
the
good.
city,
He was extremely good. He was the one who whenever I convinced him about finishing this street first before the Broadway construction. So, he listens, and I appreciate that there is someone who listens, and he was polite about it all. So I haven't felt guilty because being me, but but I think there was understanding there. So I would like to maybe suggest to inviting him next time. So he can listen to us, and maybe the city can help us. Let's face it, that's another sort of thing. If those construction are happening, can we ask some of those local people to help us distributing? I think Park and Rec would be willing. Maybe we can go a little bit farther. Maybe, they can share it on the public, not public, but like city social media. There's entire city, Rochester. So like I said, I think if we're not going to ask, what's the worst going to happen? They're going to say no, right? So that's my method in life. I'm just going to keep trying. So what the suggestions are? What do you think, guys? We should meet? Should we try to meet in June and just make sure that at least we have all those?
You hear me?
That's like 2 weeks of May left. Yeah, I would say 2 weeks in May left. So by end of the May.
Alex, you hear me?
Having all those coupons.
By the end of May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be ideal if we could have them by June 4th.
Exactly, 'cause that's the biggest festival that we're
We have a
expecting
big pop-up
to.
art festival in the park.
We have a live music.
So
We could
before
have-
June 4th. if you want to print it out.
Absolutely, but I mean,
So
have,
end of May.
it's not a lot of time to get it
No,
together.
it's not.
But it may be that if this is version 1.
Yeah.
And it goes out in June, and version 2 could look a little different in July or August.
Of course, and we can always update it, right?
Right.
And then maybe more people will join us, maybe it will become more attractive, but I think for now we have to come up with something.
One version that we saw that I gave to Alex was, they're a little. Easy to do, easy to print. Not like I gotta get layout on all the line up and all that.
That's a smart idea too.
And it's a company here in town that did it, so we might even approach them and say, based on what's going on, can you help us print this and work with us?
Hmm.
We've got Alex and I have that.
Okay, well, that'll be amazing. I think, like I said, just send us the information, contact your business.
So I'd share that, I mean, I'm gonna share that with businesses.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm
there-
talking about saying just,
It's
we
just,
just want your business card.
it was a
and then on the
business,
back end,
it was
okay,
actually
there's a-
pre-printed business cards with some, everybody kind of looked the same. It was a
Right.
name and logo. Come in and get 10% off your next
Purchase
whatever, or
or-
get your, buy something and get this
Right.
deal, whatever they can afford to do and be willing to do, and then all that went in one envelope. People can sift through and organize it however they want.
Yep. You know what ideal word would be also? Figure it out if this printing company would do a little map with the detour.
Yeah, I gotta get the name again back from Alex on that, but we can sure check with them and see. Maybe they're in the same location. I didn't look at their address. What if they
Exactly,
are?
but if we would, let's say, we make a map with the detour and on the back we have all those businesses. And just trying to give them a little map, they might get excited about that, like downtown had it. I don't know, I'm just brainstorming here.
Yeah, kind of like the map we looked at with the different, yeah. And that map's gonna change as they keep moving the project along, so we will need to be.
We can update it.
Every 4 weeks or whatever the time frame is.
Absolutely. Sounds good, everyone?
That's actually
Yeah.
easy stuff to do.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel like, yes, it should be easy. But again, I think people need to be shown because, my biggest pet peeve last year with the downtown was we like Victoria restaurant. One day I get to Victoria, no problem. The next week, I cannot for life of me find anywhere how to get to Victoria. And again, I've been living in Rochester for 9 years, but at the same time, I find myself quite smart, how to navigate those things. But after driving for 35 minutes, we literally just went to different restaurants. I think I can't deal with that. I mean, I'm hungry. I don't know how to get there. And then we tried the next week and it was again the normal. But again, we didn't give up. But I can imagine that somebody who would says, I don't care about that. I'm going to come back. So we need to, and another thing we need to be on the ball. Once the Broadway reopens, we need to make sure that the media knows about it. Because, it took, for downtown businesses, it took them forever to get the word out. That everything is done.
And they should have had a celebration when that.
Exactly. And
And
this,
when some of those big things
Yes.
opened up, there should have been, they should have something.
absolutely, I agree with you. Creating some sort of, buzz and saying, hey, there was celebratory party. And sometimes you need to spend money to make money.
But of course, that was all going on with COVID too, so I suppose.
True. Face mask party?
Yeah, yeah. That would have been a tough go probably.
Yeah, I agree.
Another idea, I saw a post from actually Penny from Kismet, and she must have been, when they started on the tearing up the road, she was out there with just a little quick 30-second video, and she said, well, so it begins, and it's gonna be like a treasure hunt, so just think of it as a treasure hunt to try to find us.
We could do a scavenger hunt.
So,
The businesses
See?
could do a scavenger
like,
hunt.
you get your passport stamped, or what do they do
Right.
for little kids, I don't know, something, treasure hunt, and I don't know.
I called it a puzzle on
Yeah.
our site. I said it's a puzzle, you have to figure it out.
But that's not a bad idea. If we will have this map and we can have like empty spaces that every business has to, I don't know, have a stamp or something. And by the end, they can exchange it for like, I don't know, whatever we're gonna come out with.
Sorry, I've
But
been,
there's plenty of ideas I think we can come out with. I think we need to be creative. And I think you guys will have to trust us. We're gonna make it the best of it.
I was trying to get,
Oh.
Beth and Shannon were trying to chime in, and I think
Sorry.
I must have, when I had the HDMI in and unplugged it, now the sound is all goofed up, so, but they, I'll be reaching out to them, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Hi to Dennis. Cool.
yeah, and that, Beth said, let me read it.
That's funny.
And I actually bike up here from my house, and it's a great path to bike. Because the bridge doesn't have any cars on it really, and it feels much safer to me than it did when there was cars flying past there. So if anyone bikes or walks, it's actually nicer than it is when there's traffic on Broadway. But one little added
Benefit?
yeah.
Yeah, Beth said, she would be interested in having more conversations and perhaps she could host a meeting at her Elton Hills branch. And then that, keep moving forward. She wants to be a part of it, as Shannon as well, so.
That's great, because like I said, it's great to have a bank on board, it's another access to the customers. And I'm sure Beth would be able to give those coupon books to other locations. So the more people we have in Rochester, the bigger the chances that people will keep coming. And like I said, I think we need to find the right verbiage, right way to advertise it. And I think, again, the worst gonna happen, we're gonna be on the same track as we are now. The best, people will remember and they're gonna keep coming. So. Okay, so have you got any idea, because I'm trying to be mindful of the time, I don't want this to go over 8. Any ideas when we're gonna meet next? Do you think that like beginning of June? Frankie Coke.
Yeah. Is there better days, times? I mean, I know each business has different levels of busy, so.
If you wanna get the coupon book done.
Yeah.
Printed. ready for you.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you all of a sudden.
We can also share it by email, but I
can
think
share
we'll
it.
get.
You can hear Shannon?
Yes, now we can.
Oh my gosh. Hi, guys.
Hello.
It's really weird looking at faces just staring at a computer. What's up? All right, a couple of us were trying to talk earlier, but this is Shannon. I am the right-hand man, gal, female through the Recreation Center. And we work with 125 Live, and I am a huge supporter of 125 Live because I'm super jealous of that pottery place they have.
Yeah.
And I want to let you all know that I'm the one that does anything on our website for the city, as well as the outdoor marquee sign, which we are in the process of having repaired because it took some hits with the last snowstorm. But I am willing to put anything you guys want on that sign if you want to email me or call me.
That's great.
They have my information.
Thank you, Shannon. That's very appreciated. I appreciate it. We can provide the information. I have your email. We're trying to create.
Absolutely, we're all in this together.
So yes, if we can have those coupons by end of May, then we can spend not 31st because we are shut down.
We're gonna need them before.
We're gonna need them
get
before.
printed.
Yeah, we need them printed, and we're gonna need a lot of them. And I'm gonna talk with some of the one of the gentlemen I'm meeting tomorrow. He has a printing company the same as yours. I can ask. Maybe in-kind donation, maybe sponsorship. 125 Live is a nonprofit, so if people donate money to us, they're tax deductible. So for a lot of businesses, this might be a big incentive. What else? So I would suggest the meeting at the beginning of June. And again, maybe Alex can send like a survey monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to meet before the deadline to get whatever the deadline is to get these coupon books
Okay,
together?
perfect. That would be great too.
Um,
So maybe like Friday or Thursday. So Thursday in 2 weeks is actually May 27th.
Something like that might at least, whoever's available to meet and wants to participate in it, then we'll just get their info, share what we have.
So let's meet again in 2 weeks on May 27th at 7 p.m., the same as now. And that sort of will put the urgency that we need to have it done by May 27th. Well, we need to have your input by May 27th.
So as we're connecting with businesses, we send them to Alex.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can take it from here. And that should give us some time to May 4th. That's about a week to have it printed.
We may be doing it in-house.
And then if it needs to be done in-house, we're gonna do it in-house. But hopefully we can print it out and, as a job. Postcards or whatever.
Yeah, the little cards.
Okay, so May 27th at 7 PM.
And we'll also have an option on Zoom for those who can't make it, right?
Yeah, hopefully the audio is better that time.
And I'm gonna invite Dylan, and I'm gonna invite Dylan Dombrowski, and I'm gonna try to invite Chamber. And we had this discussion, and again, I don't want to overstep, but do you think one of the council members might be good? Either Molly Dennis or Sean Palmer? You know, Sean is the Ward 5, Molly's 6. Or we can invite both of them.
I don't think it hurts to, but.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, of course. And that's another sort of thing, they might have ideas, how we get this coupon book even farther. Politicians have their following on social media. Mainly people follow them to criticize them, but
I think for them, if we are gonna like shut down Broadway to have a celebration, we need them on board, so.
I know.
We'll plant the seed early.
You know,
I mean, I would think that they should be open-minded. I can't imagine that they wouldn't, I think they know this is really hurting businesses, but what else can they do? It's literally just, it seems to be the funding issue this year. That's my understanding by talking with them. It had to be done.
Yeah.
There's, again, some sort of funding and it had to be spent with so many years.
well, for the bridge, yes.
Yeah, for the bridge, this has to be,
bridge had to be
that's actually federal money for bridge.
And we need a 4-lane bridge.
Yeah.
It's been 2 lanes for so long.
Tell me
Right?
about it. I drive there every day and I stop to turn to 1 to 5 Live and I'm just having little silent prayers so nobody hits me in the back. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get going. It's been a long day
Yeah,
for
and
all of
as,
us.
Thank you.
like I
Yeah.
say, as you have
Absolutely,
any
thank you.
conversations or network with anybody, definitely give them my info.
So
And,
Alex,
I don't know,
if
maybe,
Witness
if I
together.
sent out
You
an
send
email to the businesses that I have,
Send that to Alex, then.
contact information.
Oh,
for,
absolutely,
just
yeah.
direct them to you.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
my contact list would include businesses all over Lower Town, not just the Broadway corridor.
Yeah,
But I just think that's okay, because, our neighborhood doesn't go that far, and they could still be affected just because.
It's a
people are
main
like,
pipeline.
I'm not going anywhere near Broadway or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true.
So they could be affected and I don't know if I want to pick and choose who I would be sending this information to.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
I don't think you'll
Yeah,
participate.
And
absolutely.
they'll figure it out themselves, but it's beneficial to them.
But, even having, I think any business owner, I would like to think,